everybody, and welcome to Cosplaying Around. Today we're going to be showing you how to make this yarn wig. It's a cat style wig and we're going to see exactly how we go into that. Hopefully it's helpful to some of y'all, and we're going to build upon this knowledge as we go, so let's get started. Alright, taking a look at some of the materials you're going to need. You're going to need control top pantyhose. This provides yourself with a nice strong base to build your wig off of because you do not want that to tear up, trust me. You're going to be hot gluing on it, so you definitely don't want it to be the regular old stringy type pantyhose. You can see there a second ago I snagged my fingernail on that, and you definitely don't want that happening. So definitely control top. The next thing you're going to need is some cross-stitch fabric. You're going to be using this for your ear flaps. There are other materials that you can use, such as lycra or even more pieces of the control top pantyhose or tulle. A lot of people use tulle. For the yarn wigs, I tend to use cross-stitch fabric because it's nice and heavy. You don't have to tape it to your face. It usually sits there pretty well, and it's sturdy. So this is what I would recommend. This is what I'm going to use in this video. You're definitely going to need a hot glue gun, as well as quite a few glue sticks. This project is going to use quite a few glue sticks, trust me. You're not going to need an entire bag, but a small handful will probably do you. I'd recommend the low temp glue gun because you're going to be touching the glue and it's going to be hot. The high temp, that's going to burn your fingers off. I've burnt my fingerprints off. Please don't do it to yourself. These are like $3 at Walmart. You can find them anywhere. They're very cost effective. They last a while. Very easy to find. So just go out and grab you one. Very importantly, you're going to need a styrofoam head. They come in a male and female size. I would recommend the male size as it is closer to an actual human-sized head. The female size is very, very small. And even if you are female, it probably isn't going to be the best fit for you. The female size will work for a woman's head size, but the male size is closer to an actual human head, like I said earlier. I'm sorry, I'm redundant. But this is going to be your best bet. You're going to get bits of styrofoam stuck to the inside of your wig. It's no big deal. Don't worry about it. These are pretty easy to find. You can get them at Hobby Lobby. Use your coupons. No big deal. The main thing you're going to need, of course, is your fiber. Now, there are a lot of different fibers you can use to make a cat style wig. But what I'll be using in this video is Lion Brand Homespun. It is a very tricky yarn to use for anything but this. I hate crocheting with it, I hate knitting with it, I hate doing almost anything with it, but I will use it for this. There used to be a different type of yarn. It was a Lydia's rug yarn that was being used in the cats community for wigs years and years and years ago. This has kind of been the alternative to that. A lot of people have moved on to different methods, but this is very beginner friendly, so it's what I'm going to use here. It's also something you can go out to the store and purchase. You don't have to order anything online. So it's very, like I said, very beginner friendly. It comes in a lot of different colors, so I guarantee that you're going to find what you want. And once again, use your coupons. They're at Joann's, Hobby Lobby, Michael's, everywhere. So just go for it. That's what we're going to be using, so that's what I'm going to show you how to use. Alright. So now, what you're going to do inevitably is make your yarn pieces to go in the wig. I kind of had a brain fart there for a second. I've already got two cut out. I would say these are roughly about 8 to 10 inches in length. That's really about as long as you need to get it. That's going to cover almost everything. The only thing that won't cover really is a macavity wig, and that's a whole other deal. So, what I like to do first is you'll cut out two longer pieces than you think you'll need and prep those. And then you'll cut a plain old piece of yarn that's as long as the prep piece is. And that'll be your control piece, and you'll cut pieces from there. But, here's how you prepare the yarn. Let's see. You'll tug on it like I just did, and there is a long little thin string in there. Pull that out. Now inside there's two more strings. It's a thin one and a thick one. You want to pull that one out, especially. If you accidentally leave the thin ones in there, it's really not a big deal. With this color yarn, it's a little bit more important because the strings are white for some reason. But with others, especially black, it doesn't really matter. So you'll tug, pull, I didn't get it that time. There we go. Broke my nail off and now I can't get anything. Pull that. There you go. Now you'll see these two pieces are not quite the same length. That's really not a big deal. So don't worry about it if that happens. Line them up as well as you can. Fold them over. Try and get them more or less in half. Tie it in a knot. Alright. Not quite done with it yet. Take the end pieces here and pull them out. Look at that. We'll do that both sides. Alright. Now you'll take these and tie these together. Yes, it does leave you with one wispy end and one end that's going to be a little thicker, but once you're tying it all in, it really doesn't matter. Alright, so 2 strands of yarn will leave you with 1 plug for the front part of the wig and 2 plugs for the back. Alright, let's go ahead and get started. You're going to put your pantyhose on here, cut the top of it off, make sure you get all the crotch there. You can sew this. I chose to hot glue it because honestly, structurally, it doesn't make a big difference. I'll sew it for customers because it looks nicer, but for this purpose, this works fine. Now, you're going to want to put this on your head, and you'll see I'm going to cut these little ear flaps out. I usually do them about 2 inches wide, 3 inches long, and you're going to put the wig cap on your head there, and get yourself a marker and mark where you want those to sit. You're going to want them to sit on the sides of your face, and it's really just easier to do it on your own face than it is on the mannequin head. After that, you're going to get yourself a nice little pin out and mark where you want your ears and your bangs and your ear flaps to be, and then you're going to mark where you want all your colors to be. This is kind of a long process. I suggest you get a chunky marker. I had a pin, and it was not the most fun experience in the world, but it served it for its purpose. You can kind of see what I'm doing here. We're not going to watch all of that, though. You get the idea. Alright, and here I start working on the actual outer part of the wig. I'll show you here in a minute, but I make sure I glue the plugs very close together. There, you can kind of see that. Alright, here's after all of that's done, because you're going to do the whole outer edge there. We will be doing the next level. You want them to be a finger's width away from the first span there, and then a finger's width away from each other. So either way, finger's width in between all of the plugs. You can kind of see there. I apologize for it being a little off center. Sometimes it's, you knock the camera and you don't realize it. Alright. You're going to do 3 rolls for the front edge. That's what I've always done. It always seems like a pretty good formula. And try and just, what is the word? Brickwork it. That's a good way to put it. Make sure it's in between. And now, the way I did the ears, somehow that got lost, but you're going to want to do it the same way you did the outer edge. Keep them really tight together. You don't need to fill the whole inside of the ear, but you're going to do an entire circle with it. Now, for the back, it's just like the front edge. Fingers width apart, try and do it like brickwork. This is really easy. It's kind of tedious. If you don't like repetitive motions, you might not enjoy it, but honestly, I love doing the backs of wigs. It's probably my favorite part, is putting this in. It's also the part where the life of your wig, in my opinion, is really there because you have all of your fun markings here. Like you'll see by the end of this video, this wig has basically tiger stripes because the character's kind of tortoise shell with tabby stripes, I'd say. Now here on the inside you're going to see, and once you do the back enough, it goes into a circle. You're basically going to make a straight line across the back and keep going up with it until you get into a little oval shape, and then you're going to make a circle around the entire inside and go all the way in until you get into the center and just completely fill it up. You can kind of see that there. It was easier to get pictures. Alright, now here you're just going to see me brushing and brushing and brushing. You're going to want to brush this all out. I used a comb. It's a little bit easier with a slicker brush, to be honest, but I could not find the one that I had. And the comb was handy, and it works just as well. It just snags a little bit more. So you're going to comb everything out really well. You're not going to watch all this because it is tedious and long and very easy. Combing out the ears. These ears are the typical onion-shaped ears, and you just kind of pull them up. I tied them together with some yarn I had on hand. Don't make anything permanent because you might need to change a little bit later. Like after I did this, I ended up making the ears smaller. Trimming and styling is the fun part, and I'm going to go more into that in the article that is going to be a companion to this video, and that article is going to go a little bit more into depth here. But this is a way that you can really define the markings that you're going to want. The front edge, once again, going to go into that more on the article. You can kind of see what I'm doing here, but it's really hard for me to show you. I can explain it a little bit better, which sounds strange, but it's kind of something that comes more from experience than anything else. I'm only going to show you one side because, well, it takes me a while. And it's just a lot of touching and my goodness. If you have thinning shears, it's a lot easier to get that nice natural edge I keep stabbing into the sides for. And here is the end product. Once again, stick around next week for a follow-up article that goes a little bit more in depth on what you're going to be doing so you can kind of better apply the skills here. This kind of shows you exactly what you're doing. That's going to show some in-depth pictures so you can clarify a little bit. We will be building up on this skill and explaining a little bit more about some of the different styles of these wigs and the different possibilities that there are here at the Culture Cache and Cosplaying Around. Hope to see you next time. Bye.